Okay, hello, hello. Is anyone here? Actually, I think the better question is, am I live? Because, again, YouTube is being fantastically weird. And I can't tell. It had a problem going live yet again. I guess that's just going to be tradition. All right, Dr. Bones, hello. Why is that not popping up there on this chat? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I went live, and then it said that going live was unavailable, and I had to try again later. Like, what? I don't know. I guess it's all an experiment in the end of the day. But let me check something real quick here. Okay. I want to verify that monetization is on for this stream, because apparently it got hit with a restriction the last stream. I don't know what happened there. Yeet, hey Dapper, welcome. Like, I don't think I said anything that would get the video demonetized, but it was demonetized after the session, which is weird. I don't know what happened. Absolutely no idea. But it looks like we're good. Everything is healthy in terms of the stream. So I guess we'll get started. We'll pretty much go the same length, if not just a little shorter this time around. And then tomorrow I might finish it up. I was told there's like 2 more hours left. And I don't want to just yeet it all tonight. Let's add another restriction to the bunch. Let's not, and say we did, Jamie. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think tomorrow when I'm wide awake, I can fully give my thoughts on everything that has happened and will have happened. Because I was also told that there's a lot more to go. No, it's not copyrighted content. It's, that's not the issue. It's demonetization. So it detected that there's something that is a little iffy on their guidelines, therefore not applicable for advertising, for ads, for whatever reason. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine now. You don't know what has happened? I don't know what will happen. So I guess we'll get going here. Stream health still looks... I'm just worried. I'm just making sure that we're okay with the stream. Absolutely no issues. And... I don't know. I mean, I don't think that would cause any issues. I don't know when the demonetization hit. It's weird. I don't know. It's all an algorithm. It's all automated. And I mean, it's whatever. After this, I mean, I'm turning off monetization because it's just going to be set for patrons and YouTube members. So, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not really expecting to make some money here off the stream, but it does confuse me as to why there was a demonetization. But it's whatever. I won't worry about it. So I will have the chat up on the stream. Just want to reiterate, excuse me, that I won't be able to look at the chat, or I can look at the chat. I won't stop to read the chat aloud in the recording session. I will get to it after the session, see what y'all are saying. So feel free to, chat away. And I guess we'll get going here. Starting my recording in 3, 2, 1. And click, click, click. Alright, let's get started. Oh, wait, Dapper. Let's see what you're saying here. Algorithm is weird. I get my comments deleted automatically for no reason despite being completely inoffensive. Yeah, I mean, I've got my my filters on pretty high for YouTube, but I always go back and see what is okay. You're watching that karaoke stream, and she's talking about Higurashi? Oh, no. That's actually kind of cool. I gotta check out more of her streams. Alright, let's get started. How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3. So, Keiichi is pissed, and for good reason, because everything is just not really panning out the way that he thought things would be panning out. I'm confused, he's probably delusional, I'm probably stupid. There's a lot going on here. Keiichi decided to, I guess, since it didn't work out the first time, go back, and he's going to kill the man again, and as many times as it takes, because he wants to make sure that his crazy ass is able to kill him. So we went over to their house. He doesn't seem to be there, but Soroko is, and she was pretty much in a state where she was being killed. Well, we'll just leave it at that, and we're going to try and bring her to the hospital, I believe. Outside it had gotten hotter, as though eager to attack Soroko. Fucking cicadas, wow, alright. Why did it have to choose this morning to get so hot out? I didn't have time to swear at them. The clinic was this way. Hoisting Soroko on my back, I broke into a trot. Oh, well, that was the end of that chapter. I mean, I can never tell when those are going to end. I just want to end an episode whenever I want to end an episode, I guess. The hilly road to the clinic, with which I had never had difficulties before, was now torturous. Big beads of sweat formed on my brow, and at some point my breath had grown faint. The hatchet in my belt was heavy and made it hard to walk. I considered leaving it, but I couldn't let it go. At least not while Sotoko's uncle was still breathing. The signboard for the... Alright, let's see if I can pronounce his name properly. Irie? I think you're supposed to roll your R, but I can't do that. The signboard for the clinic, though, came into sight. But I quickly noticed something was odd, so I stopped. Several red and revolving lights were flashing at the clinic. 3 police cars were parked in the parking lot with their lights on. There didn't need to be much else to inform me something had happened. Yeah, what did happen? I didn't want to see Coach, so I had planned to leave Soroko in the clinic waiting room and give the receptionist a message. But with that police officer Uushi here, I couldn't go inside so carelessly. Damn, if she didn't look dead before, she definitely does now. At least dead inside, don't get the wrong idea. I gently put Soroko down in the shade of the thicket. I'll be right back, I added, getting to my feet. Cautious of my surroundings, I hid myself behind a car and got closer to the officers grouped at the clinic's entrance. I overheard an officer wearing a necktie, probably their leader, and a white-robed doctor having a discussion about something. The doctor didn't seem to be Coach. It was one of those who Coach told to make the tea yesterday.
じゃあつまり最初に見つけたのは朝当番のあなただったと。それでどんな感じだったんです？
事務室の所長席のソファーに座って居眠りをしているように見えました。
で 机の上に水差しと空き瓶になった睡眠薬があったんで、あなたはすぐに睡眠薬で自殺したんだと考えたと。それで
高熱と瞳孔の拡大に重度の意識障害も見られました。睡眠薬中毒の典型的な重症例だと思いましたので、直ちに対応に入りました。
警察も救急も呼ばずに？
ここは病院で私は医師ですよ。生命が危険な状態にあるなら直ちに治療して当然です。
ああ、まあいいからいいから。それで
呼吸が不正常だったので人工呼吸を施しました。合わせて呼吸刺激薬を投与。効果が出なかったので人工呼吸器の準備をし。
ああ、はいはい。それでつまりいろいろ頑張ったけど結局ダメだったと、そういうわけですよね。通報は死んでから直ちに？
はい、救うことができずとても残念です。
Just then a radio in one of the police cars started to buzz, producing a broken mechanical voice.
こちら本部、こちら本部。小宮山さん、聞こえますか？どうぞ。
もしもし、小宮山です。ああ、お疲れ様です。睡眠薬での自殺みたいですね。遺書の類はなし。
Suicide? What the heck were they talking about? Someone had committed suicide at the clinic. But who? I have a bad feeling here. I wished Takano-san dead and she died the next day. And yesterday I wished Coach was dead. And then, could he have...
普段から睡眠薬を常用していたとかは？
あまり知りません。
日頃疲れたとか死にたいとかそんなこと言ってました？
I mean, I tend to complain like that.
入江先生は普段からああいう性格でしたから。
Oh, fuck.
とてもそんな風には。
So I was right. Irie-sensei. They were talking about Coach. Coach killed himself. Why would he do that? There couldn't have been any reason he wanted to die. The only reason that came to mind was that I wanted him dead. That could have been coincidental. Same thing with Takano-san, because we kind of knew that she was going to die. This world was insane. If I wanted someone dead, they'd die. That was the kind of world this was. Then what about Ushi? What happened to him? If people really died because I wanted them to, then something should have happened to him too. Okay, if he's dead, which I highly doubt, then I'll start to believe that something's fishy with everything that Keiichi is wishing.
課長からそちらは応援に任せて大石社の捜索に戻るとのことです。
What?
了解しました。じゃあすいません。こっちに今応援が来てるそうですから現場はこのままにしておいてください。おい、行くぞ。
The officers nodded and split up into the patrol cars. Did they just say searching for Ueshi's car? Searching for his car. That meant he had gone missing? Takano-san, Coach, and Ueshi. When I wished for it, the very next day, they disappeared. No matter how angry you were when you said you wished someone was dead, it didn't normally happen. Everyone knew just wishing for it wouldn't make them dead, and that's why people could utter such curses so lightly. But the curses I uttered were being granted. At the time, I hadn't been walking, and yet... Tap. I heard a footstep. And it wasn't only one this time. Tap, tap. They came from behind, and they stood right behind me, reaching a hand for my shoulder. Who was... Oh.
一体何事なんですの？
さとこか。脅かすなよ。
驚いたのはこっちでしてよ。いきなり大声を出さないでくださいまし。
It was Soroko. Her eyes were still unstable and focused, but she seemed able to at least walk on her own now. She looked far better now compared to her earlier exhausted state.
具合はどうなんだ？もう大丈夫なのか？
まだ頭が痛いですけど、いつまでもこんな格好で表にいられませんもの。
She gave a smile, a show of courage, but her legs were still shaky.
それより、これは一体何事なんですの？
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure myself. I think 2 big-ass bombs just got dropped.
今、警察が話してるのを聞いてた限りじゃ。
監督が自殺したらしい。
Sadako was at a loss for words. Her face grew paler and paler, and I could tell that she was doubting her own ears.
ケイチさん、それ、本当ですの？何かの聞き間違いじゃないんですの？
確かにそう聞いたよ。入江先生が睡眠薬で自殺したって。
Sadako went down on her knees and broke out in tears.
嘘ですわ。監督が自殺なんて、そんなの絶対に。
Yeah, honestly, from like the bit of, like, we haven't known him for long. We knew him for just part of this chapter, but he seemed very unlike that. So something did happen, whether it was Keiichi wishing for it or some other weird force just going around here. As I watched Sadako crying and clawing at the grass, I felt myself trapped by guilt and remorse. I got so angry that Coach was treating me like a madman yesterday, that he'd betrayed me, that I thought he'd be better off dead. But even Coach, who to me deserved to die, still must have had people who loved and respected him. Yeah, even I respected him. He's fucking weird, and possibly a predator in some sort of weird way, but I still respected him. Like Sadako here. In my selfish, egotistical anger, I wished for his death, and it was granted. And now Sadako was crying hysterically as a result. The guilt tore at my heart. I worked myself up to murder for Sadako's sake. I decided I wanted Sadako to be happy. But was that really all it took? Murder meant taking someone's life, you don't say. It meant making everyone attached to that person sad. In Sadako's uncle's case, of course, nobody would be sad. So I didn't feel a sense of guilt at all. But Coach's death was different. I had wanted to make Sadako happy, and that had resulted in me inflicting a deep sadness upon her, hadn't it? But Coach killed himself. It wasn't my... Sadako still hadn't stopped crying, but she seemed to be a little calmer now. Wiping her tears, she stood up.
すまない。
And the only thing I could say to her was an apology.
どうして謝りますの？
俺、昨日監督と喧嘩して、お前なんか死んじまえって呪ったんだ。呪ったから本当に死んじゃって。
Sadako looked at me dubiously for a few moments. Eventually, her expression softened, and she interpreted my words in her own way.
ケイチさんのせいではありませんわ。監督も大人ですもの。自分の命を捨てるに値する都合があって悩んだ末に選んだんですもの。
You know, now's not really the time to point this out, but the bruises that are on Sadako's sprite here really bring me some pain.
誰のせいでもありませんわ。
She smiled a little, trying to comfort me.
いつまでもこのままでいたくありませんわ。服が欲しい。
いいのかよ。診療所に行って見てもらった方が。
服を着てから見てもらっても別に死にはしませんわ。
Sadako readjusted her bath towel and started back along the path. Her stride was wobbly, and it didn't look like she'd recovered as much as she let on. So I guess we're just going back to the house? I guess. At first, Sadako tried to go back home, but it was the first time in the morning when people were going to school and to work, so after seeing people walking around, she thought better of it. She must have been pretty embarrassed wearing only the towel.
理科のうちに行きますわよ。私の服、あるはずですから。どうしたんですの？ケイチさん。
Sadako noticed how I was hanging my head and spoke to me.
監督はああ見えても大人ですのよ。
Well, I think he was.
ケイチさんと喧嘩したくらいで自殺するような人ではありませんわ。
Okay, but, you know, coincidences aside and all that, because there's no such thing as a coincidence. Even so, she seems to be missing. What happened to the coach that made him want to die? If there's no malevolent, if there's no weird-ass force that's trying to, make him want to die or is controlling the village, what the hell is happening? Why did the coach decide to commit suicide? Why did he commit? And what is happening with Ueshi-san? What is happening with everybody else? I'm very confuzzled.
自分を責めるのをおやしなさいませ。
At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but with 3 people now, I couldn't discard the possibility. There was no such thing as impossible in this world.
この数日おかしいんだ。
何がですの？
Sadako seemed to be having trouble breathing, but she still tried to listen to what I had to say.
おとといの綿流しのお祭り、お前は途中で帰ったから行かなかったんだよな。そして俺は祭りに行ってみんなと遊んだ。
らしいですわね。あの時は取り乱して申し訳ありませんでしたわね。
Sadako remembered how she blew up at me in the classroom yesterday and bowed to me a little.
実は俺祭りに行っていないって言ったら信じるか？
Sadako looked at me confused. She couldn't help it, of course.
信じられるわけありませんわ。何を今さら。
信じられないだろ。信じられないのはだって俺は祭りに行っていないのに、俺が祭りに現れてみんなと遊んだって言うんだ。こんなの信じられるわけないだろ。
それ本気ですの？
Yeah?
ああ。
The thing is, I think Keiichi might be losing his mind, but I don't think that's the only thing that's going on here.
あの綿流しの夜から
But what else could be
お
going
かしいん
on?
だ。
What the fuck is
い
happening?
つの間にか変な足音がペタペタとついてくるようになって。
Okay, footsteps. Somebody reminded me in the comments of the previous episode that this sort of thing here, these footsteps that he's hearing, that was a similar or exactly the same thing that happened in Chapter 1 when Keiichi was untrusting of everybody around him and things were getting wacky. This seems to be wackier than what was going on there until, the end. Apparently, he was hearing footsteps as well. So what the hell are these footsteps? The blood drained from Sodako's expression.
足音がペタペタ。
そうなんだ。最初は気のせいだと思ってたけど、ずっとついてくるんだ。多分今もついてきてる。里子の足音と混じってよく聞き分けられないけれど。
Yeah, like it's either he's losing his mind like he did in Chapter 1 and like he seems to be here in Chapter 3. That's how I'm seeing it, at least. Or there is some sort of weird shit going on. And therefore, I can't really predict what that is. Sadako took a long and hard look at me. Maybe she was doubting my sanity. I know I am. Coach did the same thing. I mean, why wouldn't he after telling him this? The more I thought about it, the more I was unable to endure the feeling that my hatred for Coach had been meaningless.
綿流しの日、俺は祭りに行かず、あることをしていたんだ。ずっとだぞ。眠ったり、意識がなくなったりしたことはなかった。だから寝ぼけ気分でフラフラと、記憶になく祭りに出かけたなんてことはありえない。
それはおかしいですわね。ならどうやってお祭りで遊んだんですの？
だから俺は祭りには行ってないんだよ。
No, I can't let myself get emotional. If I get agitated now, that'd be like proving that there's something wrong with my head. Well, I'm sorry to say, buddy, but I think there is something
みんな
wrong
が
with your
信
head.
じてくれないんで、つい。
圭一さんがそう言うなら信じてあげますわ。それで？
あの夜高野さんに会ったんだ。それで見下されたと思って俺は心の中で念じたんだ。お前なんか死んじまえって。
高野さんってどことなくそういう雰囲気がございますものね。その気持ちわからなくもありませんでしたよ。
高野さんが死んだの昨日の話だ。どこかで焼け死んだらしい。
それ本当ですの？死んだんですの？
俺が死ねと願うと次の日には死んでるんだ。それから 警察の大石ってやつも知ってるか？ムカつく太った刑事みたいなやつ。
Damn, alright. Sadako nodded a little, excuse me.
さっき警察が話してるのを聞いたんだが、どうもあいつ、実は昨日あいつにも死んじまえって念じてたんだ。
Well, we don't know if he's dead. I mean, I can understand why Keiichi is jumping to that conclusion with everything going on, but I don't think we can safely assume that he is dead.
それ本当の話ですの？
Or that he's missing. It could just be like, we just don't know, they don't know where his car is, just straight up.
嘘じゃない。俺だって信じたくないけど、本当の話なんだ。高野さんも監督も大石も、俺が死ねと念じたら本当に死んでしまったんだ。
For a little while, Sadako was at a loss. A long silence ensued.
それは怖い話ですわね。
You're telling me.
圭一さんにせめて嫌われないように気をつけませんと。
それだけじゃない。もっとおかしいこともあるんだ。それはお前のおじなんだ。
おじさまの話はやめてくださいましな。
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about him either.
昨日いたんだろ、お前の家に。
あの人の話はやめてくださいます。嫌なんですの。
ありえないんだ。あいつがいるわけがないんだ。
やめてって言ってますのよ。いや
あの男が綿流しの夜以降いるわけがないんだ。だって
あの男のことはもう嫌なんですの。
Damn,
俺が
Keiichi
殺したんだ。
Keiichi is super inconsiderate, but also he's probably, a
こ
psychopath.
の手で。
Even the cicadas stopped crying. Her face was streaked with tears, and it stiffened even more as she looked at me in disbelief.
俺が綿流しの祭りの夜にお前の叔父を殺したんだ。だからお前の家に帰ってくるなんてことはありえないんだ。
But still, he went back. And last night he found fault with the dinner you made him, yelled all sorts of things at you, and then basically boiled you in the bathtub. That couldn't possibly have happened.
だから俺はあの男を確かに殺したという証拠を確かめるために埋めたが、そこには死体はなかった。こんなことがあり得ると思うか？確かに殺したのに死体がないんだ。そして何事もなかったかのように帰宅してお前の前に。こんなことがあっていいはずないだろう。
Sadako's entire body stiffened. She was shrinking away like there was someone in front of her about to hurt her.
お前も俺のこと頭が変になったって思ってるんだろうな。
Yes.
無理もないさ。俺だって信じられない。
圭一さんはきっと偶然呪った人が死んでしまったんで混乱してるだけに違いありませんわ。
Coincidentally.
監督の自殺にショックを受けて気が動転してるだけなんですのよ。今日はもう学校を休んでお家で休んだ方がよろしいと思いますわ。私はもう平気ですから、どうかご自分の体を大事になさいまし。
Okay, she's scared of us. Sadako spoke like she understood me, but she also told me to go home. I could see the revulsion in her face and knew that she didn't want to be around me anymore.
サトコをちゃんと診療所まで見送ったら俺も帰る。サトコだってまだ足元がフラフラじゃないか。途中で倒れたら大変だぞ。
私はもう本当に大丈夫なんですのよ。男の人にいつまでもこんな姿を晒していたくないんですのよ。
She wobbled up the shrine steps, looking like she was about to fall. I immediately ran up to her and helped her stay on her feet. But then Sadako promptly jumped away from me. That outright rejection hurt a lot. Once she got to the top of the stairs, her breathing was ragged, and she wasn't even looking at me. At this point, I was being ignored. Well, it was more like she didn't want to have anything to do with me. It really was a feeling of rejection. And that hurt my heart more than any blade could have. This was the path I chose for her sake, To be treated like this at the end of it all was just so saddening. Don't be naive, Keiichi Maibara. You never wanted to be repaid in the first place. You didn't do it so that Sadako would thank you. You did it so Sadako would be happy. I thought so that we could get our peaceful days back. Wasn't that what we were kind of shooting for? And that was what led to this ending. Rika-chan's house was a disaster prevention storehouse used by the town council. If you went past it a little further through the shrine grounds, you'd apparently reach the back of the assembly hall. Sadako was heading there, walking quickly, the gravel under her feet crunching as she went. Did she want to get there as soon as possible, or did she want to run away? I couldn't tell. And then I heard the vigorous sound of wings flapping. I turned around and saw a crow. I hadn't seen many crows since coming to Hinamizawa. I saw them a lot in my old town, though. On garbage day, they'd flock to trash collection points, peck through the bags with their beaks, drag out the contents, and have a feast. As I was remembering that, I saw a few crows flocking around the shrine's donation box. Why? And I thought how terrible it was for someone to leave a garbage bag in a place like that. The cicadas quieted. Breathing stopped. Thoughts ceased. Even time came to a halt. I ran over to where the crows were flocking. I ran there in order to drive a horrible idea out of my mind. I definitely hadn't wanted this. There's no way I would ever wish for this even by mistake. This was not, oh God, what is this? Oh no, no, bro. What happened? What happened here? When they noticed my vicious approach, the crows all flapped upwards, fleeing into the sky. When the crows' big black bodies flew away, they exposed the garbage bag. Well, Keiichi, I don't think that was a garbage bag. Oh no! That's creepy. Not scary, but most definitely creepy. What the fuck happened? What had I seen there? The scream had escaped from my throat before I understood what I was looking at. Honestly, I haven't really completely comprehend what's happened. Or what I am looking at. What was this? Sadako came over as well, realizing something had happened. Oh, don't let her see this. And she looked over my shoulder, and then she screamed as well. This wasn't... The garbage bag was crimson dyed in fresh blood. Enough of this stupid roundabout way of saying it. That's right, yes, yes, it was Rika-chan. Our friend, Sadako's best friend. Oh, what the fuck is this sound effect? It just keeps repeating, it's ruining this. Always easygoing, clever as a cat. It was so cute, you couldn't hate her. Our friend, Rika-chan, Rika-chan was stark naked. She was face up, limbs sprawled. Her eyes were like glass, just staring up into the sky. And I'm not yelling, but just picture a yell.
Rika! Rika!
Sadako broke down crying on the spot, and yet she still couldn't approach her friend's remains. The crows had gotten through the garbage bag and they dragged out an apple peel and spread it all over. No. Crows, they couldn't do this. Oh no, we throwing up on her corpse? On the spot, I started vomiting. The sour taste became a bitter one as I threw up over and over again. Rika-chan, oh, dude, what the fuck? No. No. Why? Why is it like that? Why? Holy fuck. Okay, this sound effect is really just ruining everything, but, like, what the fuck has happened? I don't even know, like, It still has not excuse me. It still has not hit me that she's dead. It raises thousands of questions. Yeah, can we get out of this so I can stop hearing this fucking sound? Because it's really just ruining everything. Crows couldn't have done this. And from her open stomach, her organs, her bowels were dragged out. Oh, okay. Like children's toys left all over the floor. Isn't this kind of connected with the whole, you know, everything we learned in Chapter 2? That, you know, the guts, they get all scooped out or whatever. That unbelievable sight induced oxygen deprivation in my brain. Color left my vision, a pounding headache, dizzy, and I wanted to vomit. It was like the nightmarish remains of a ceremonial killing. You're right on it. Someone somewhere had killed Rika-chan, brought her here, laid her here with her limbs sprawled out, and then cut her stomach and dragged out her intestines. Red and pink viscera were sticking out of her gut, and her intestines were scattered in every direction like it had been for fun. The entire ground was covered in an ocean of red and black. A few of the crows had hopped around inside that ocean. That's not right. They walked through the sea of blood, leaving bloody footprints. And those footprints, there were several still left on Rika-chan's body. Those sinister prints made it seem even more like a bizarre ritual killing. I may have wished for Takano-san and Coach and Ueshi to die, but I didn't remember ever wishing for Rika-chan's death. Why is this sound still playing? Thank God it's done. That was really just ruining everything there. Like, they could have just had some spooky-ass, you know, song playing in the background. They kind of did here and there, but no, just got to have that fucking messed up, fucked up, many of the strings totally fucked up and probably unusable violin just completely, repeatedly, I guess I should say, playing that tune every time. That really ruined it. But holy fuck, what happened? I'm still at a complete loss for what the hell we just witnessed. I stumbled backwards and then stepped on a newspaper. A newspaper? Oh, wait, yeah. That's actually in the next line. A newspaper in a place like this. Why is there a newspaper? The newspaper was what was covering my hatchet. Oh. I had kept it wrapped up on my belt in order to carry Sotoko. And that newspaper had fallen off. Sheesh, don't scare me like that. I bent down to pick it up, and then Sotoko looked at me with such disbelief as I'd never seen and froze. She was looking straight at me. And at the hatchet on my belt. Oh, fuck. Well, it's not what it looks like. But what if it was? What if it is, you know, what the coach thought? Multiple personality disorder. We go sleepy, and another us comes out with this hatchet, murders Rika, washes said hatchet, puts it back, so then, you know, present day Keiichi, the one that we've been following, you know, he gets up early in the morning, stretches, you know, probably yawns a little bit, and he decided that he was going to go and kill her uncle again. Is that far-fetched? I don't know. Sotoko, trembling madly, backed away. Okay, it wasn't the Keiichi we know, if anything. She didn't care at all that she was exposing herself through the towel. She just trembled and tried to step back from the demon in front of her. You know, I don't think we're her Nini anymore. Screaming weakly, Sotoko began to run unsteadily. Run away, that is. The way she ran away, it was so weak, so slow. So if I wanted to go after her, I could have caught up. But if I tried to grab Sotoko's shoulder or something right now, she might actually go crazy. So I had to follow her and try and clear this up. I think we're far from that, brother.
理科まで人殺し。
違う、俺じゃない。俺は殺してなんかいない。
何を言ってるんですの。あなたさっき自分で言ったじゃありませんの。死ねって、死んでしまえって。
Okay, but there's like a huge difference from wanting them to die and actually committing the
そ
murder.
れでみんな死んでしまったんでしょ。
俺は死ねって思っただけで、別に。
自分で何をしたか記憶に残っていないんでございましょう。そんな人の話なんか信用できるわけありませんわ。人を殺した時の記憶が欠落してるだけなんじゃありませんの。いや、記憶がないふりをしてるだけなんじゃありませんの。第一、そのナタは何なんですのよ。
For cutting trees.
説明してごらんなさいな。
これは
ほら、圭一さんは殺人鬼じゃありませんの。どうしてですの。ちょっと意地悪だったけど楽しくて優しい。一度は本当のニーニーかもしれないとまで思ったのに。
Oh, now it's really gonna hurt.
どうしてそんな風になってしまったんですの。
I might have been able to slowly answer each one of Sudoko's questions at a time, but in this situation, explaining my innocence in such a short period of time was impossible. I mean, I didn't even know if I was really innocent anyway. Oh, now we're starting to doubt ourselves. At the very least, I killed Sudoko's uncle. There was no body, but I killed him. Without a doubt. At that point, I was far from innocent. And I wish Takano-san, Coach, and Ueshi were dead, and that curse of mine was granted. When I wished for Takano-san to die, I didn't think of it as anything more than a normal thing you'd say to someone you didn't like. But then she actually did die, and I realized that if I wanted people to die, they would. And hoping it would happen again, I cursed Coach and Ueshi to the same fate. So even ignoring Takano-san's death, Coach's and Ueshi's were completely premeditated crimes, Was I a killer, just like Sudoko said? Was I unable to distinguish between illusion and reality, and turned into a demon without remembering it, becoming a killer who carried out Yashiro-sama's curse? No, that couldn't be. It was impossible. Ah, damn it! The very word impossible was impossible in Hinamizawa right now. How many freaking times have I said that word these past 3 days? Sudoko had started crying again, and was walking unsteadily. At first it felt like she was still running, but now it was like she was walking away, crying from someone bullying her.
どうしてこんなことになってしまったんですの。どうして
If there was an answer to that, then I wanted to know it too. Why? Why had it turned out like this?
ニーニーがいなくなってずっと寂しかったけど、圭一さんが転校してきてくれて、またみんな明るくなって楽しくなって、毎日が光ってたのに。
Yeah, she was right. Those days were bright and beautiful. And yet, after that, Sudoko and I shouted the exact same thing.
どうして
こんなことに。
What is this, a fucking musical? What the hell? The cicadas were sneering at the spectacle, our strange game of tag. Ah, shut up. Eventually I heard the murmuring of a stream. Oh, hey, a bridge. The forest parted and a suspension bridge appeared. Well, this looks familiar. Sudoko was crossing dangerously, wobbling as though she might fall at any moment. And when I stepped onto the bridge, it swayed a lot, causing Sudoko to stagger and fall on the spot.
大丈夫か、サトコ。
近寄らないで。この人殺し。
Sudoko shouted, her hatred made very clear. It was sad. If words could cut, then this warmth flowing through my eyes or from my eyes would have been blood for sure.
どうしてこうなってしまったんですの。ケンチさんのこと大好きだったのに。
I wanted to go up to her and give her a hand, but the distance between us was uncrossable. If I got any closer, Sudoko would start shouting again and say things that would hurt me deeply again, so I couldn't approach any closer than this.
サトコ、俺にもなんでこうなったかわからないんだ。 でもこれだけは言える。リカちゃんを殺したのは俺じゃないんだ。それだけは絶対に。
いい加減なこと言わないでほしいですわ。自分の記憶にも自信が持てない人が何を言ったってどう信じればいいって言うんですの？
I mean, I think our memories are intact. I just think there's other things going on. I tightened my hands into fists. This was mortifying. I wasn't crazy. Hinamizawa was crazy ever since I wandered into it, lost on that one night. This insane world, where I was at the festival when I wasn't, and the uncle I killed was alive. Where death would just come by wishing for it. It was this world's fault. Mion and Rena started acting strangely, like they were possessed by something too. And Coach wouldn't believe anything I had to say. And even Sodoko, who I should have protected, was yelling at me like this. Was the price for killing a man supposed to be this high? Was I really going to be forced to stay in such a bitter world? I did the right thing. At least I wanted to. So then, why? I hated it. Every time I asked why, the days Sodoko and I enjoyed in peace went so wrong.
サトコ、信じてくれ。俺は人殺しじゃない。
Okay, well, according to Keiichi, we kind of murdered somebody. There's no evidence of it, but, yeah.
では、そのナタは何なんですの？納得のいく説明はできまして。
To murder?
このナタが怖いのか。じゃあ捨てるよ。それなら安心だろ。
Sodoko didn't nod, but she seemed to be in agreement with that proposition. I clumsily took the hatchet out of my belt and then dropped it over the side of the bridge into the stream below.
捨てたぞ。これで話を聞いてくれるな。
武器を捨てたぐらいで気を許すと思いまして。圭一さんほどの方なら私を素手で絞め殺すなんて簡単でしょうに。
Like hell I would ever want to kill Sodoko. You idiot.
じゃあどうしたらいい？両手を頭の上で組んだらいいか？
そうですわね。両手を頭の上で組んで後ろを向いてくださいます。
It was a cunning plan, much like the ones she used during club activities. Putting my hands on my head and turning away would mean I couldn't attack Sodoko very easily. I immediately excused me to her request. We accepted it, since it would make her feel better.
これでいいか？俺の話を聞いてくれ。
Sodoko stood up and then carefully approached me from behind. And then she actually came right up behind me. She was so close, and yet I was so sad that I wasn't allowed to turn around.
圭一さんが悪くないのはなんとなくうすうす分かっていましたわ。
え？
多分あなたは何か悪いものに乗り移られただけなんですの。
Every time we hear those bells, man.
さっきまでは圭一さんが殺人鬼なんだと思ってたけど、あなたの目を見ていたら。
I could hear that Sodoko was still crying, but her voice was gentle just the same.
圭一さんが人殺しなんかするわけがない。圭一さんの体を何か悪いものが乗っ取って悪事に駆り立てただけ。
Was she speaking literally right now? Or was she trying to admonish me? I couldn't tell.
思えばひょっとするとあの人たちも圭一さんと同じものに乗り移られていたのかもしれない。あの時は殺されるとしか思わなかったから、そこまでは考えが及ばなかったけど、今ならわかる。あれは乗り移った何か悪いものの仕業だった。
サトコ、何の話だ？
It was less like... Excuse me. It was less like she was talking to me and more like she was talking to herself, like she was confessing at my back.
わかってるんですの。身に覚えがないわけじゃないんですのよ。
Sotoko's voice started to become mixed with sobs. Her pained voice tore at my heart. But I didn't know what Sotoko was talking about.
西宮殿の屋根によじ登ったことがありますの。何年も前のことですわ。
Are we getting a flashback right now? Really? Once when Sotoko was playing hide and seek at the shrine grounds, she climbed onto the roof of the storehouse for ritual implements, which everyone said not to go near, and hid. And then Sadako saw that she could get in through a window meant for ventilation. For Sadako, the word curse was plenty scary, but she was more curious about what was inside the unknown storehouse. She removed the grating on the window, which was already hanging off, slid her small body into it, and climbed down inside. It was too dark to see much, but after descending, she realized just how high up she'd been. Despite the darkness, she could see a few things around her thanks to the faint light coming in from the air window. And to her disappointment, it was just a regular old storehouse. She tried to leave, but the door was locked up tight from the outside, and it was made to not open from within. She would have to go back out through the ventilation windows she'd come in from. But the window was high on the wall, and there was no way she'd be able to climb back up. Sadako desperately tried not to cry and racked her brain thinking of a way to get up there. There were a lot of birdcage-looking things hanging by chains from the ceiling. She took the hanging chains and strung them along the wall. If she climbed up the bundle of chains, she might be able to climb up to the ventilation window. There was nothing else she could do, so she had to try. And try she did. It was dark and creepy, and she didn't want to stay there forever. The more she thought about that, the more she panicked. She climbed the bundle of chains. Sadako could hear the clinks and clangs of everything creaking under her weight. And then, just as her hand reached the window, one of the metal fixtures she used to stick the chains on the wall flew off, and the chains all began to pull loudly and furiously every which way. Spurred on by the sounds behind her, she managed to get back onto the roof from the window. Because of the weight of the flailing bundle of chains, the other fixtures broke, and then one of the big bird cages hanging from the ceiling fell to the floor with a huge noise. Under it was an image of Oyashiro-sama, his vessel, and the cage took off one of the arms and then trapped some other implements beneath it. It didn't take very long for her to grow scared of what she had done. The deafening noise could be heard from the rest of the shrine grounds. A few other children heard it and gathered around, and of course Rika was one of them. And then Rika's father, the shrine's priest, with an angry look ran over. And then, as for what happened next, it was painful to remember. The only one who knew where Rika's parents kept the key to the ritual storehouse was Rika. So he scolded her, saying that this happened because Rika pulled a prank and hid me in there. He was very angry and menacing. Just looking at him was enough to frighten anyone. He exposed Rika's back, took a strangely shaped ritual cane or something, and struck her with it several times. Holy shit. Rika's words at the time, it wasn't me, I'm sorry, that pitiful voice, I still can't get it out of my head. I should have said it was me. I should have said so, to save my best friend from that false accusation, without being afraid of Rika's father's terrible temper. Rika gritted her teeth and cried, at the crime she didn't remember doing. Ever since then, the world had been strange.
わかってるんですの、私には。これは、お社様のたたりだって。あの時、最後伝を怪我して、親友を見捨てた私への天罰だって。
お社様のたたり。
父も母も、濁流に消えた。意地悪だったおばも死んだけど、誰よりも私を可愛がってくれたニーニーも、私を捨てて、家出してしまった。そして、圭一さんが転校してきて、やっと楽しい毎日が戻ってきたと思ったのに、今度は圭一さんが取り憑かれて、リカも殺されて。聞いたの私。お社様は、本当にたたりをなすときは、本人をすぐに殺さないんだって。親しい人から順に殺して、みんな殺してから、最後に殺すんだって。だから、圭一さんもたたりにやられて。きっと、今度はレナさんやミオンさんがたたられてしまうんですわ。そして、殺したり、殺されたり、もう嫌。
お 落ち着けよサトコ。たたりなんかない。誰もお前をいじめたりなんかしないって。
What the fuck? When I turned around, I was thrust away with amazing force. Given my hands were awkwardly placed on my head, I couldn't take the fall and lost my balance. And I'd been pushed not into the bridge, but to the side. Towards the stream. No, this can't be happening. Wait, are we falling? As one last miracle, I was allowed to grab a cord hanging from the bridge. Far below me was the stream. We were pretty high up, and below were rocks of all sizes. If I fell, it clearly wouldn't be pretty. The entire bridge was tilting under my body weight. My frail little grip probably wouldn't last another minute before my fingers had to let go.
Satoko! Satoko!
I didn't understand myself what I meant by shouting her name then. Was I asking her to save me? Or was I asking her why she did this? Finally, everything came back into focus and I saw Sadako, and I was surprised at what an odd expression she had. It was the first time I'd seen it. It was an expression of righteous anger meant only for those who needed to die. Jesus. Yeah, I don't think she likes us. As she screamed, she jerked the bridge to and fro. She didn't have to do that. I was going to fall anyway.
私はお前なんかには負けないんですのよ。たたりなんかに負けてたまるもんですか。お前になんか絶対に負けない。みんなを奪ったお前に絶対に負けたりなんかしない。
サトコ、これだけは聞いてくれ。
I don't know what my face looked like at the time, but it seemed like it was enough to quell Sodako's agitation.
俺のしたことは確かに褒められるものじゃない。いや、いけないことだったかもしれない。だけど、お前に幸せになってほしくってしたことだったんだ。それだけは信じてくれ。
こいつ最後の最後でケイチさんのふりを。
Sodako didn't seem to have any more desire to listen to what I had to say, and for that to happen at the very end like this was tragic.
お前に褒められたくてやったわけじゃなかった。お前に幸せになってさえもらえればよかった。俺たちはダメなんだ。お前が笑っていないとダメなんだ。だから俺が消えたら笑ってくれ。俺が死ぬことで新しい生活を迎えたならきっと笑ってくれ。それだけ約束してくれないか。
喋るな。ケイチさんの口調で喋るな。落ちろ。落ちてしまえ。
Are we gonna die? And those were the last words Sodako ever said to me. Those sad, tragic, and altogether unrewarding words. What on earth was I? My desire to make Sodako happy ended up like this. Where did I first go wrong? And what was the mistake I made? When did I make it? Was I the crazy one, or was it Hinamizawa? Even after all of this, I thought I wasn't crazy at all. It was this eerie world that was crazy. This world I'd accidentally wandered into that one night. Because that fun world, where I never doubted all the crazy times we had as a club would go on forever, it couldn't possibly have transformed into such an abnormal world. That fun world wouldn't have ever ended with this. Was Sodako pushing me to my death? In the end, I was going to be swallowed up by this crazy world. And disappeared. No, I'd probably already disappeared. Yeah, probably. On the night of Watanagashi. I'm sure that in the world I really belonged to, I had vanished that night, and everyone was worried. It was laughable that I had taken this long to figure out I wasn't around anymore. Oyashiro-sama's curse in the 5th year was Sadako's uncle dying, and me disappearing. In the real world, Sotoko had already been freed. Maybe my friends were all lamenting my disappearance and valiantly trying to get back on their feet. And even though they were down to 4 people, the club would reopen and they would have a good time without me, waiting for the day when I would come back. I'm sorry, everyone. I couldn't come back home. But this is what I wished for. It was my wish for Sotoko's smile and my duty as her Nini. At this point, there will be nobody left to torture you, because Satoshi and I, it took 2 years, but we succeeded. That annoying toothy smile of yours, we wanted to see it one more time. Are we alive? Dead? What's going on? Are you supposed to see bright white when you fall down a ravine? My pain wasn't gentle or merciful. It was a sharp pain, violent, powerful, and ruthless. What little compassion I had receded in the span of a moment. And now I could die. I could say goodbye to this insane world. Farewell, crazed Hinamizawa. Thanks for giving me that psychic power to kill people whenever I wanted. If you'll still allow it, I'll wish for one last thing. The death of this very world, of this crazed Hinamizawa. So that nobody would ever again have to find themselves lost here again. The world just explodes. That'd be tight, right? I have no idea what the fuck happened for the past, 55 minutes I've been recording. Jesus Christ. I am dumbfounded. We have one more tip to read through. And I think we're in the last stretch here of Chapter 3. We got the achievement Demon. I guess we'll read this tip and we will end the episode. Research notes number 2. Oyashiro-sama. Nobody really knows what characters to use to write Oyashiro-sama. Knowing this is hard partly because depending on the time period, he has been called with various titles with subtle changes to his name, and nobody knows the real one. The only thing all time periods agree on is that the 4 syllables O, Ya, Shi, and Ro are always used. There is a theory stating the shrine, or Yashiro, dedicated to Oyashiro-sama itself became an object of worship, and that people began calling it O Yashiro-sama, or Lord Honorable Shrine, but this doesn't make a bit of sense. I don't know whether this is related, but people say the Furude family, the most respected bloodline in terms of worshipping Oyashiro-sama, actually inherited his blood. And in the legend the Furude family passes down, if for 8 generations in a row the firstborn child is a girl, the 8th daughter will be the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. That is confusing. If we go by this legend, the characters used for Oyashiro-sama's name should be O for honorable, Ya for 8, and Shiro for generation. These character assignments are simply something I've thought up. There is no way to verify it. If this is true, then Oyashiro-sama would have been named as such under the assumption he would come again. The second coming of an object of worship can be seen in several religions, so this isn't unusual. But a few of these religions call the second coming of their object of worship a day of judgment, or something along those lines, and we must not forget they mean it to be the end of the world. Rika Furude, pampered and loved dearly by the elderly folk of the village. The rumors say that she is the 8th generation, and Oyashiro-sama. I do not know the family tree of the Furudes, but at the very least I can confirm that for the past 2 generations, the first child has been a girl. Rika Furude watches over Hinamizawa. If the village were to lose her protection, what would happen? Would peace between man and demon be lost? Would it once again create a hellish landscape where man-eating demons run rampant? A gruesome feast of the demons who suddenly remembered how delicious the weak humans were, who would only cry, scream, and run for their lives. What would that look like? Just imagining it is enough to make my heart pound with excitement. I think that was Takano-san's research notes. Could be wrong. And I believe we got all of our tips. That would explain the achievement I just got. Works for me. Alrighty. Let's go to the next section here. And then I'll save it. makes it easier to exit from the game. There seems to be more going on. We're still alive. We can hear the stream. So there's more to come. Probably not much more, but there definitely is more to come here. So we'll end it here. I don't even know what to say. There's just so much shit that was just dropped on us in this episode that I still can't even unwrap everything that we saw with Rika. Like, I'm still just dumbfounded. I don't know how to react to that, because it's still kind of just, it just kind of came up, and it was just so sudden, out of nowhere, and I just can't believe it. I don't know what to say for that one. But I'll sort out my thoughts, and if the next episode is the last one, then hopefully by then I will have sorted out my thoughts, and I can really just say what I gotta say. But holy shit, you guys were not kidding when you guys said that things were just gonna get crazier, because I'm pretty sure like 9 different crazy things popped up in this episode. Thank you guys for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will or will not be the finale. Who knows? I'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Just realized I kept my fucking fan on. God damn it. Alright, recording is done. And I saw that a lot of you were chatting away, which is great. I loved seeing people come in here and chat away. Let's go back to the main menu so we're not hearing the stream there. And get my audio going here. Alright. I have a lot of chat messages to go back through here. Let's see. Dapper was talking about my pronunciation of the coach. Jamie was saying that Keiichi has some mad superpowers. Dapper said that we pretty much have the ability of Death Note. Or of the Death Note. Don't know his motive. Let's see. Yeah, Jamie, I saw that. I saw that conversation. You really came up at a wild episode. Holy shit. Yeah, Dapper was not kidding. Let's see. Yeah, we might have an evil twin. And then people came in, it seems like, right when we found out that Rika was dead. So that's great. Glad everybody could come in for that. I saw the chat messages coming up. Whenever we were at that, I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is nuts. This is nuts, everything that's happened. So I was very overwhelmed, if that wasn't obvious. Probably one of the scariest moments in the VN. I didn't feel scared, I just felt so taken aback that I still have no idea how to react to this. Like, it was creepy as fuck to see that. And to imagine that her stomach was cut open with her intestines pouring out. I mean, absolutely terrifying, sure, but I didn't feel scared. I just felt so confused, if anything. I don't know. So we're in the end game. Perfect. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. Asking if the hatchet is bloody? I don't know. I don't believe it was. I don't think it was. Jamie, holy shit, I don't know what the hell is happening. Honestly, me neither. I don't really know what happened here. There's a lot going on. Let's see, Dapper. He just wanted to speedrun Minecraft with that axe. Leave him alone. Keiichi wanted to create the perfect crime when he killed, the uncle. One where there was no beginning turned out to be a little bit more perfect than he wanted. Yeah, a little bit. Sotoko is using the same argument Keiichi did when he said a demon was possessing Mion in Chapter 2. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, that's a valid point right there. Were we the one possessed? Or is everybody just under the idea, so under the idea that Oyashiro-sama exists, that they just assume these roles and assume that sort of situation is happening. The storehouse flashback also has some interesting implications for Chapter 2 if you think about it. Yes, it led to quite a bit of dying, which I guess explains why Mion said that Sotoko was cursed. Child abuse, yes, of course. Really pretty song. First plays during the Washing Away of Sins, the Cotton Drifting in Chapter 1. I actually don't remember it. I know what song you're talking about because I saw when that message came up. Or at least I think I do. Next episode should be the last one. Maybe minus the all-cast review. Well, I'll try to include the all-cast review in the final episode as well. I don't know how much more we have to go, but maybe I'll squeeze it all in. I don't know. But that'll do it. We had quite a few of you guys come by, which was awesome. Really cool to see. I don't know. I guess maybe I should keep at it with these recording sessions, these live ones here on the channel. If people come by, I mean, almost 60 playbacks on this one, so that's cool to see. I don't mind doing them. They're fun. It's a cool way to record. Seeing you guys also involved here. But that'll be it. Thank you guys for coming out. Dapper, Jamie, we had some of the regulars. We had Chatman. We have, I actually have no idea how to pronounce his name. Bargov. I've seen his comments. It's cool to see people who watch the playthrough come on here. It's really cool. Very, very cool. But yes, this will be it. Thank you for stopping by. And if I record again, it will most likely be during the day tomorrow. If I decide to do another live recording session of this, it will be sometime during the day. So just be on the lookout for that. Join the Discord for updates and all that. And for VTuber Talk. Don't forget the VTuber Talk. That is definitely going on there. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good one.